fashion is a world of emotions. And sometimes people are forgetting it's also a world of numbers when you do retail,
Yeah.
and you don't want the emotions to take too much over the numbers.
When you say emotions, do you mean emotions from the customers when they're purchasing, or emotions from people when they're like creating?
So I'm going to give you a very simple example. Let's say that you have a collection, all right, and you want to distribute this collection in all your stores. Okay, you have 200 stores. You can decide two ways. You can decide to look at the numbers of all the stores and say, okay, these stores, we're going to give it this assortment of products. This other store will have a different assortment. And you actually categorize your shops in maybe A, B, C, D. And you know that A, they have a type of assortment, B, another type, C, etc. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is that you invite your shop managers to come over and you let them order the products.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
I don't believe in that.
Wow. Because that's how a lot of I guess I've seen brands do it more, where they'll have like distributors in different markets, and so every 6 months, every year, you invite them over. You're like, hey, here's all our products.
I think that if you invite the person in charge of the country, that works, because the person has the vision of the entire business. But when you talk about only one single store, that person doesn't know which product you want to push from a marketing standpoint, how much you committed in terms of inventory, how this product is contributing to the brand image or to the display in the stores, etc. So of course you have to listen to your store people. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we are not. You have to listen to their feedback. This is very important. But also you need to give clear directions, and you need also to be able to, you want to have consistency when you actually promote your brand. And the first way to get a good consistency for your brand is to have consistent retail. And so if you, let's say, we are in Paris right now. So we have the left bank and the right bank. You go on the right bank, you see one brand and it's looking amazing. And you go on the other bank and you see that very same brand, the shop is actually filthy. And just because the products are not the same at all, okay? What a shop experience you are having here. It's really bad. And also you have a bad point of view of that brand, So that's why, it's also very important for me that the centralization has a lot of positive effects. After, it doesn't mean that being centralized means that you are not flexible. You always want to keep about 20% of flexibility. And that's where, of course, you can give the chance to the shop manager, for example, to select some specific products. We're okay with that, But it's always a question of how much flexibility you want to give in your business model.
Yeah.
Do you give 80% flexibility and 20% of rules, or the opposite, all right? Me, I chose my side. I'm more like 80% of planning and 20% of flexibility,
That makes a lot of sense. I was on the consistency front. This is not it's kind of retail. It's food. I was at a restaurant with my friend, and he'd eaten there and he ate again, and he's like, "Oh, this food's like pretty consistent." And then we were talking about McDonald's, and we were like, when you're traveling, I think I had KFC last time. I tried McDonald's here as well. Sometimes when you're traveling, you're like, "I'll just get McDonald's because I know what I'm going to get," and my friend Jordan was like, well, it's hard enough for a restaurant to be consistent from like week to week, let alone every restaurant in the world to be so consistent. And that's what makes, that's why you don't go to McDonald's for an amazing burger. You're like, I know what I'm going to get, and this is exactly what I want.
Exactly.
And regardless of where I am in the world.
There's no surprise.
Yeah.
And people don't often like too much surprise, especially when they are bad surprises.
Especially when they're bad surprises. And but they even have that, I guess, like flexibility, because here you get different, I forget what it was, but you'll get like regional changes as well.
Exactly. The menu are not the same. The cheese is not the same. For example, it's in some countries you will have more chicken, some others you will have more beef. It really depends of where you are. Yeah.